Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, this is Rosa. Hopefully your favorite real estate broker. Wow, I'm going under this tree here. Hey, this morning I thought it was interesting. I found myself having a really weird, different conversation with myself. So here I am having my morning walk in this nice neighborhood. And what I found is that I'm looking at homes and I'm saying to myself, oh, hey Rita, thanks for watching. Oh, wow, that will pass a government-related loan. Oh, that one won't pass an FHA loan. Oh, that one will. Oh, that one will pass a CHFA, Connecticut Housing Finance Authority loan, no down payment program. Oh, that one would never pass. Oh, that one might pass a USDA loan if it was in a different town. Oh, that one would never pass. And I said to myself, wow, Rob, even when you're going for your morning walk, could you maybe take a break from real estate? And what I found pretty much is I guess I can't, because what I wanted to talk with you a little bit about is this whole thing about government related loans and really what can pass and what can't, because I actually even received an offer from another agent yesterday on a property that we know definitely cannot pass. So what does that really mean, Rob? Hey Chris, thanks for watching. What does that really mean about passing a government related loan? So let's just take FHA as an example, because that's probably the easiest way to look at things, right? So when I look at homes, if you're my buyer or even if you're my seller, one of the things that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start at the curb of the property, right? And I wanna know, will this home pass an FHA appraisal? Now, I'm not talking about inspection, right? Are inspections required by lenders? When we talk about a very basic home inspection, a general home inspection, the answer is no. Now remember, there's always exceptions to the rules, my friend. Somebody can look at this video and be like, oh, that's not exactly true all the time. Well, okay, that's not exactly true all the time. But generally speaking, your home inspection doesn't need to be seen or viewed by your lender. And in fact, if they were to ask you for that home inspection, you could tell them that's not your business, right? Because that home inspection is the inspection that you are going to have performed for your knowledge, right? So that you can know what's going on with that house. But what the appraiser is going to do is that appraiser is going to walk through the home. And of course, you know, it's a little bit different from years and years ago. Years and years ago, that appraiser would walk through the home and they might have to check a couple of things for the lender. You know, make sure there is a kitchen, make sure there's the same number of baths that it says on the assessor's card and so forth. But what they also do now is they have a checklist that's provided by the lender, or a list of questions that they have to make sure that they are double checking, right? And so what are some of those things that appraiser is going to look for when they are putting that document together? Well, you know, again, walking through this neighborhood just brings so many different questions up. Like starting at the curb, okay? Well, what does the roof look like? Does it have so many years of useful life? So a lot of times they'll look at, okay, does it have at least 3 years of useful life? Does it look like it has at least 5 years of useful life? If the roof has curling tiles, if the roof has missing shingles, they're probably going to put that as an issue. And then we'll talk in a few minutes about, well, what does that mean when some of these issues come up, right? Again, at the curb, how does the front stairway look? Is the stairway crumbling, right? Does it have handrails? Are people able to walk up and down the stairs without a problem, or does it look like a safety hazard? What does the siding look like? Is there missing siding? Is there warped siding? Hey Agnes, thanks for watching, right? You know, can you see the inside of the house from the outside. I mean, that could probably be a big issue. How about windows? Well, you know what? When it comes to government-related loans, when it comes to a potential FHA loan, yes, windows could be an issue, right? They want to make sure that there's no broken, cracked windows. A lot of these items that they're potentially looking at are safety issues, safety concerns, right? Because what they want is they want to make sure that that new buyer is going in there into this home with a great start, right? They want to make sure that that buyer is not going to go into the home and have to put all kinds of money into the home and then all of a sudden say, hey, I'm sorry, but I can't pay my mortgage this month because I had to put up a new roof. What are some of the other items that could possibly come up as an issue? Well, how about the chimney, right? When we talk about the chimney has to make sure that it's not missing any mortar. Maybe it has to be repointed. Maybe the bricks are cracked, so they might look at the chimney. Maybe there's water coming in from the chimney, and that could potentially be an expensive issue. So they would take a look at that, okay? Now let's talk a little bit more about the inside of the home. Well, some of the basic things you probably are aware of that make sense to you. Like, okay, is the heat on, right? Is the boiler working? Is the furnace working? How about, is the electricity running, right? Are there any missing electrical fixtures? So if they were to walk in the home and see that there's a missing lighting fixture and there's wires hanging out in the dining room, and there's missing electrical fixtures in the living room, and there's wires hanging out of the ceiling for that, you know, that would be an issue on your potential FHA appraisal. How about heat? How about hot water? How about electricity, right? So those are all the basic things. Then they're also going to confirm, like we said, the kitchen and the baths. Well, what do the kitchen and baths look like? As long as they're in working order, usually there's not a problem. But let's say they go into the bathroom and the bathroom is missing a toilet. Well, my friends, we have an issue there. It's not going to pass FHA appraisal, right? Let's say there's holes in the walls. Let's say there's holes in the floors. Well, guess what? It's probably not going to pass an FHA appraisal. So that would be something that, of course, would be put on the appraisal report. And we'll talk in a minute or so what happens from there. So really, really quickly, some of the items that we're talking about is chipped paint, rotted wood, broken down stairways, missing handrails, issues with heating, hot water, electricity, even running cold water, chimney issues, roof issues, and there's probably a list of a few others. So those are the main things that they're going to look for to make sure, does this property actually pass an FHA or government related? And we're talking about things such as USDA, FHA, CHAFA, and so forth. Well, what happens? Picture it this way. You might say, well, Rob, I want to go for it. I want to try to buy this property anyways. Do we have some buyers who want to do that? Sure. And my job is risk mitigation. And my job is to help you so that you don't waste time and money, so that you can get to where you want to get to. So what can we do? Well, I would most of the time tell you, hey, listen, it's probably not a good idea because you're going to waste time and money. You're going to spend money on probably your own home inspection, right? You're going to spend time and money on that appraisal, which is usually going to cost you about $500. And then it might take a few extra weeks, sometimes 3, 4, 5 weeks, because appraisers are running so slow these days because they're overwhelmed. And the appraisers are not the bad people, right? They're not the bad people. They're trying to do the best that they can do. Everybody is working towards helping you get to that final goal, but sometimes it's just really hard. So they put this appraisal together and they say, okay, the roof is old, it's past its useful life. There's rotted wood in the soffits. There's chipped paint that's missing handrails. And they send it over to the lender. which then goes usually to the underwriter. And that takes a couple of more days, usually. And then what does the underwriter do? Well, the underwriter's job, what is really their job? Their job is to make sure that if the lender gives you this money, there's not going to be a problem in the long run, right? And so now, what is the lender going to say? Hey, these things need to be fixed before you can buy this home, before they will give you the money. And so now that lender is going to go back to the buyer's agent. The buyer's agent's going to go back to the seller. And what's in many cases the seller going to say? I'm sorry, but I don't have the money. I cannot make that happen for you. I cannot do those repairs. And you, my friend, because maybe you didn't have an experienced agent, maybe you really just didn't want to listen and you wanted to push the envelope. Right? One of the things I can tell you that I learned many years ago, little dog over there, I hope it doesn't start attacking me. Many years ago, as an attorney told me, he said, listen, Rob, don't try to put a square peg in a round hole. You're wasting your time. Because I'm that person that I would love, hey, I love to kind of push the envelope for my buyers. I love to push the envelope for my sellers and get them the most money possible. But how am I going to do it if it doesn't match? If we're trying to put a square peg in a round hole? So that buyer would have just wasted all kinds of extra time. So that's, my friends, is what you need to look out for is, will it pass that government-related loan? And please don't waste your time. Please don't waste your money. You want to make it as easy as possible for you to start your new life in that new home. You want to make it as easy as possible so that you can save your money, you can have emergency funds, and you're starting off at a great clip. Now, there are some other options. Does anybody know what they are? Right? What we're talking about is renovation loans. So usually, you can get a renovation loan, and you can get, I think, up to $33,000. You know, the exact number is somewhere between $33,000, $35,000, depending on the way the numbers work, to get a streamlined renovation loan, usually, which is very helpful. Or you can try to get a conventional loan if you have the credentials, if you have the money saved up for the down payment and so forth. And sometimes, depending on what your credentials are, there are even 3% down conventional loans out there. There's even an opportunity to put down a lower down payment than you would for maybe an FHA loan, right? So there's always plenty of options out there, different ways in which you can handle it. So if you have more questions about, hey, I'm thinking about selling my home, will it pass a government-related loan, which is what you want. You want it to pass that government-related loan because that way you have the highest number of buyers available. You have the largest audience, right? Because in many cases, in many towns around Connecticut, the majority of buyers will be those government-related buyers, you know, with those government-related loans. So I can definitely do even a room-by-room walkthrough with you. Start at the curb, do the exterior, and do a free room-by-room walkthrough with you and let you know, hey, here are some of the things that you would have to work on if you wanted to make sure that it will pass a government-related loan. Or if you wanted to buy a house, of course, give me a call. We'll make sure we got all of our ducks in a row. We'll talk about the financing. We'll talk about your monthly payment. We'll go over the numbers before we spend all kinds of time. And then we'll drive right up to the house, my friends, and we will start at the sidewalk. And I will tell you, you might be like, what the heck is wrong with this realtor? Man, this guy, Rob Rosa, I don't know what people say he's so great about. Look at him. He's telling me he doesn't want me to buy this house. He's telling me everything that's wrong with the house. Well, that is exactly what I will do because I want you to stay out of trouble. I want you to stay out of any issues. So anyways, I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. We're getting ready to have a little bit of a heat wave. And I do have the wonderful garbage truck coming my way. So I think that that is my cue to say, have an awesome day. God bless you. And this is Rob Rosa signing out. We'll talk to you later. Bye.